What's happening, sports fans? Welcome back to another episode with Mom and Papa Joe. On the menu today is Cornell Chicken. Have you ever heard of it? Neither have I. We're going to make this happen though. We started this process last night and we're going to get right into the cook today. So folks, Cornell Chicken. We've got two birds. The history behind Cornell Chicken is that a doctor at Cornell University in New York came up with this idea in order to sell or to get more people to buy the surrounding farmers' smaller chicken. And we're talking chickens in the neighborhood of 3 or so pounds. I did not get these at my regular HEB. I got these small birds from a Mexican meat market. One is right at 3 pounds, and the second one is about 2.75, so small birds. And they look pretty clean and everything. I'm gonna get these washed, rinsed, and dried. All right, folks, we're cleaned up, dried with a paper towel. Man, I'm not used to dealing with birds this small. What separates Cornell chicken from just regular grilled chicken is going to be this marinade that you'll see in just a little bit, folks. Pretty interested. I've never tasted it, so I'm really looking forward to tasting it. You could do leg quarters or just breast. You could do spatchcock, but I'm just gonna do these little fellas in halves. We're gonna do a little cleanup and then we're gonna start making this marinade. This is going to be the star of the show. I've never seen a marinade like this, but we're gonna start with 1 cup of vegetable oil. I'm using avocado, but you can use whatever your favorite oil might be. 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Again, very different. 1 whole egg, a large egg. 1 tablespoon of poultry seasoning. And I'm sticking to the recipe as much as I can. I'm gonna make 1 adjustment, 3 tablespoons of kosher salt. If you don't have kosher salt or you're gonna use regular table salt, you're gonna use less than 3 tablespoons. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going with 1 tablespoon. So before I pour this onto the chicken, I want to remove some for use as some sort of a mop tomorrow. I don't want to contaminate it with any chicken juices. So I've got a big 2-gallon size baggie. We're gonna come in here with our birds and in with this marinade. And we just want to make sure that every piece of chicken is 100% covered. I'm gonna go overnight. If you were doing individual pieces, you might go about 4 hours or so. This is gonna go into a pan and then into the fridge until tomorrow. See you then. We've been out the fridge for just about an hour. We're not gonna be rinsing anything off, nor are we going to be drying. We're just simply gonna come out of the bag and onto the grill.
Ooh, it smells good.
Smells awesome, Mama. The only thing I might do is add a little more black pepper because I see some bare spots and I like that visual. So just a little 16 mesh. There you go. So we've got this marinade left over. If for some reason you didn't separate it like I did yesterday and you wanted to use this to mop or baste your chicken, I would cook this first just to kill any poultry contamination that may have happened or grown overnight. But we're not gonna be using this. We've got enough saved from last night. Let's go get this Weber cranked up. All right, folks, our fire is nice and hot, man. We're rocking a combination of lump and briquettes. We're on the Weber. This is going to be a pretty involved cook because I'm going to be flipping these birds in the early part quite frequently, trying to get that good char color without burning. I've got a 2-zone fire. And once I'm satisfied with the char that I've gotten, I'm gonna move them over to the cool side to finish cooking. I'm gonna start skin side up just a few minutes and we'll flip these. We'll give that skin side a few minutes. I've got my set aside marinade. All right, so we're just continuing to rotate and baste until I'm happy with that color, that char. And we're going to be ready to move to the cool side in a few to finish cooking. All right, folks, so I think we're ready to move over. I'm going to get a temp on that thickest half. It's been right around 20 minutes or so of this flipping, healthy one right there. We're pushing 106 in that breast. So we're going to come over and on with my cover for the first time for maybe another 15 minutes or so. All right, folks, that's been about 25 minutes. All these little ones are good to go. This little thicker one is 160. I'm going to do one last base of the skin side, put them directly over the coals for a minute or so just to dry out. And we're going to pull them, man. Looking, smelling good. We're going to give these about 2 minutes. All right, folks, let's get these off of here. I can tell these are finished, man, by how loose these thighs are. Those are beautiful. We'll give these a couple of 5 minutes just to relax before we cut into them. Here we are, folks. We've given these a couple of 5 minutes to cool down, man. Smells and looks amazing. I can smell that little zip, that zing of the vinegar. Hey, but the proof is in the pudding. Let's go with this thicker one. Still smoking. Oh, we'll go with a little bit of this white meat. We'll let mama go. There you are, babe. Folks, the zip and the zing from that vinegar is just amazing. I've never tasted anything like this. And this definitely will not be the last time. Silky, smooth, tender. Vinegar is a tenderizer. This is something you've got to absolutely try. Papa will not steer you wrong. Cornell Chicken, I love it. I'll be doing this again in the next couple of weeks. I want to thank you guys and gals as usual for hanging out with Mom and Papa Joe. We really appreciate it. Be on the lookout for another video coming very soon. And as always, Mom and I want you guys to take care of yourselves, love each other, and we'll see you when we see you. Holla.